The door slammed so hard the old glass in the china cabinet trembled. Martha didn't turn around. She stood at the kitchen sink, gripping the coffee mug she'd been about to fill. The kettle was already whistling on the stove. But now everything had stopped, even her breath. "You knew," she whispered, not looking at her son. "All this time you knew." Jason froze in the doorway to the living room, hands in his pockets, shoulders hunched like he was bracing for a blow. At 42, he suddenly looked younger, frightened, fragile. Like a boy caught stealing from his mother's purse. "Mom, don't do this. It's not what you think. Not what I think." Martha slowly turned. Her face, usually calm, lined with soft wrinkles and kindness, was now carved from stone. "You brought her here. Into my house. Right after your father's funeral. She was helping me with the paperwork." "Paperwork?" Martha slammed the mug onto the table. It didn't break, just thudded dully against the wood, as if even the porcelain understood something far worse was coming. Jason took a step forward, but stopped when he saw her fingers shaking. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "You already did," she said quietly. "You didn't just betray me. You betrayed him." She didn't say his name. She didn't need to. Harold. Her husband. His father. The man who'd saved $10 a week for 30 years just to leave her this house, the only thing she had left. And now it wasn't hers anymore. 6 weeks earlier, Harold had died. Not suddenly, but not peacefully either. The kind of death you expect when your heart's been failing for years and your doctor's been saying, the next episode could be the last. Martha had known she'd wake up alone one day. She just never thought she'd wake up without everything he'd left behind. That day, Jason arrived with a manila folder under his arm. He looked tense but composed. "Mom, I sorted out the estate," he said, setting the folder on the kitchen table. "Dad had to retitle everything in my name last year. Taxes, loans, you know how it is." She nodded. She did know. Deeds, insurance, wills, they'd always felt like a foreign language to her. Harold handled it all. And Jason, an accountant by trade, seemed like the perfect person to help. She trusted him. She'd always trusted him. But on the third day after the funeral, Jason brought Linda. Martha recognized her instantly. The colleague he'd occasionally worked with. The woman whose number once flashed on his phone screen when he'd left it in the car. The reason he'd started coming home late from so many meetings. Linda walked into the house like she already owned it. Slipped on slippers in the foyer like she knew exactly where they were kept. Thanked Martha for the coffee like Martha was the guest. And that's when Martha understood. The documents had been forged. Or worse, Harold had signed them under pressure, when his mind was already fading, and Jason had convinced him it was just temporary. Dad, just to dodge the tax hit. She didn't make a scene. Didn't scream. She simply went to the bedroom, closed the door, and stayed there for 2 days without answering the phone. Then she remembered the safe. Harold had always kept duplicate documents there. Just in case, he'd said. If someone decides I'm not myself anymore. The key was hidden in a secret pocket of his old wallet. Martha opened the safe. And found the real will. Dated just 2 months before he died. Everything to her. The house, the savings, the car, even Harold's grandfather's pocket watch. But scrawled in the margin handwriting that mimicked Harold's, but wasn't his, was a note. Transferred to J.K. per joint management agreement. It bore a notary seal. But Martha knew, Harold would never have written that. He hated Linda. Once, he'd told Jason, "If you ever bring her into this house, I'll throw you both out." Now he couldn't throw anyone out. But she could. Her first step was the lawyer. Mr. Harding, an old family friend, listened, sighed, and said, "Martha, if the signature's forged, it's a criminal matter. But it's hard to prove, especially if Jason claims your husband signed it willingly." He couldn't. He could barely hold a pen in those last weeks. "I know. But the court needs experts, paperwork time. And the house is already in his name?" "Yes. Then technically, he's the owner. But this is our home. Harold and I built it from nothing. We paid for every board, every tile." "I understand," Harding said gently. "But the law doesn't care about feelings. Only documents." Martha left his office feeling hollow. but not helpless. She started small. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., she appeared at the house. Didn't ring the bell. Just stood at the gate with a thermos of coffee and the newspaper. Jason ignored her at first. Then he came out. "Mom, you can't keep doing this. It's my house. Yours." She smiled. "Are you sure?" He didn't answer. By the third day, she brought a lawn chair and sat right on the grass. Neighbors noticed. Mrs. Turner from across the street came over with a pie. "Martha, is everything okay?" "Perfect, Doris. Just enjoying the sun." "But you live here, don't you?" "I did." Doris glanced at the windows. Linda appeared, wrapped in a robe, holding a mug. "Oh," Doris said, and hurried away. By evening, the whole street knew Jason had kicked his mother out of her own home. He tried to talk to her. "Mom, stop making a scene. I can help you find an apartment." "Why would I need an apartment when I already have a house?" "You know how it is. I know you betrayed your father. He signed it himself." "Then show me the video." Show me him saying, "Jason, take everything from Martha." "There's no video." "Exactly." She returned the next morning with a book and a blanket. And a tip for the local newspaper. 62-year-old woman forced to live on her own lawn after son steals home following father's death. A reporter showed up that same day. Jason began to unravel. He called every 2 hours, threatening, pleading, begging. "You're destroying my reputation. You destroyed my life. I just wanted." "What?" "To take the house while I'm too old to fight back? I thought you'd move in with Aunt Carol." "And Linda? Did she think you'd move me in with Aunt Carol too?" He fell silent. Martha knew he wouldn't give up easily. So she played her final card. In the basement, behind the old furnace, Harold had left a USB drive. For a rainy day, he'd said once. On it was an audio file. "If anyone tries to take this house from Martha, listen to this. I, Harold Keller, of sound mind and clear memory, declare, everything I own belongs to my wife, Martha. No transfers. No joint management. Only her. And if Jason tries to get around this, he should know I recorded everything, even the conversation where he asked me to sign papers for insurance." I said no. And he got angry. The recording was dated 3 weeks before his death. Martha sent a copy to her lawyer. And, anonymously, to the newspaper. The scandal broke 2 days later. Son tricks mother out of home after father's death, but father recorded everything. A photo of Martha, grief in her eyes, standing quietly in front of the house, went viral. Jason lost his job. Clients refused to work with a man without a conscience. Linda disappeared. He came to his mother one last time. "Are you happy?" he asked, standing on the lawn like he was afraid to step onto the path. "No," Martha said. "I lost my husband. And my son. I'll give it all back. It's too late." "Mom, you're not my son." "My son wouldn't have betrayed his father." He left. Never came back. A month later, the house was in her name again. The court voided the forged signature. Linda's lawyer tried to appeal, but backed down when Martha handed the recording to the district attorney. Now she lives alone. Every morning, she brews coffee, sits by the window, and looks at the garden she and Harold planted 30 years ago. And sometimes she whispers, "We won, sweetheart." But revenge is a strange thing. It gives you satisfaction, but it doesn't give back what you've lost. Martha won the house, but lost her son. And every night, lying in bed, she asks herself one question. Was it worth it?